So why don't I give an update on what's happening with our burning server room?
Sure.
Okay, cool. So basically what happened was, I'm not going to name any names, but it was one of our camera operators who's been with us for a very long time. He already messaged me, he apologized, and he had no way of knowing.
Okay.
So he accidentally plugged a very high wattage filming light
How
into
high wattage?
1,000 watts.
Whew. I already knew that. It just sounds cool.
Yeah, so I have an extension cord that runs out of the server room and then is just coiled on a hook on the wall right outside the server room. And the reason that that's there is because it's meant to be, in the event of a power outage, it's meant to be a quick and fast way without going and finding the key and unlocking the server room to get power to something in an emergency.
Some form of emergency power.
Whoever's working on today's video, plug your workstation into this before your at your desk UPS dies so that you can get today's video out so everyone else can go home, we'll regroup tomorrow, we'll come back to the office. Like, this has happened. So we've got both a network cable that's plugged directly into the switch and a power cable that's plugged directly into the UPS there for such situations. We've also,
like the most important machine.
Exactly. We've also used the power cord for situations like, remember in Scrapyard Wars 3, the one with Austin? 2?
Dirty power?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've also used it in situations where like a lower quality computer power supply might have computer stability issues running off our admittedly not great power here in the building. If we plug it directly into the UPS, we've actually gotten more stable overclocking, for example. So it's handy to have it.
Yeah.
They plugged a light into it because we had an HVAC technician coming to look at one of our AC units in the server room, which was leaking. And he needed a light. So they plugged in this 1,000-watt filming light, and it started arcing and smoking.
Oh.
Okay, so what happened at that point was everything shut down because the UPS was arcing. And I pulled all the units out, and I realized...
the battery?
The power units. So it has 4 power units, so that's a total of 1,200 kilovolt amps, or however they rate them. 12,000 volt amps, I think. Yeah, so did I say 12,000 kilovolt amps? Sorry, no, 12,000 volt amps. So that's how we have ours configured. This one can go up to 18,000, so you can do 6 power modules. And then it also has the rest of the bays filled up with battery modules. So I had some people on Twitter suggest that the batteries were old and that caused the problem, but the batteries were not the issue. Yeah, we should probably replace our batteries. It has been about 3.5 years, 4 years. And lead acid batteries do have a limited shelf life. So yeah, it's probably time to replace those batteries, but that was not the problem. So I pulled out the power modules and I realized one of them smelled of burnt electronics. So I thought, okay, maybe we fried one of the power modules by just sucking 1,000 watts from it suddenly, unexpectedly. Yeah. Now, that still shouldn't happen. Overcurrent protection should still, like, this is literally, it was either 17 or 19,000 Canadian dollars that we paid for this UPS. I would still expect it to have basic protections on it that would prevent an overcurrent event from causing it to light on fire or spark or whatever the case may be. So anyway, I pulled that power module out and I went, well, we're still well below the remaining 9,000 volt amps of capacity that these 3 power modules remaining, none of them smelled, would have, so let's give it a shot. Let's fire it back up. I fired it back up and it started sparking in the back of the cabinet. So I wasn't that close to it the first time it was sparking. I was like upstairs and people came running to get me. So this time I was right there and I could tell that the arcing was coming from the back of the cabinet rather than the power modules that were inserted. And I hit the main cutoff. So we actually have like a 208 volt input that goes in, and then the UPS is hardwired into that. So I hit the main cutoff for it, and then it kept sizzling and, well, the sound of fire, basically. So when I say crackling, I don't mean spark crackling. I mean like bubbling plastic.
Oh boy, okay.
So my expectation now is that this unit is super fried. And before any of this happened, the front of the unit was still reading just like okay. So that was what led me to believe that it might be okay to turn it back on.
After you pulled one out,
yes,
and that was like burning, it still said okay.
It still said okay. So I powered it back up with the three modules instead of with the 4, knowing that, and it actually ran for like tens of minutes.
Okay.
Like I got back, everyone got back to work. And then
you were still in there?
I happened to be here again
Oh man.
when it went. And so it was on fire for some period of time, seconds. Like I had long enough to go get the fire extinguisher that is right outside that room and stand there, like really didn't want to unload it in the server room if I could avoid it in any way. So I'm like standing there with this fire extinguisher and please let me not have to use this, because like you can't just blow on it. Like it's electrical fire potentially. Mind you, I've already cut the electricity, so I don't know if the rules change at that point, but
Genuinely not sure.
either
call my
way,
brother.
I did not want to press the button in the server room.
Yeah.
I fortunately didn't have to. It went out on its own.
Cool.
But my take on this is I am out of warranty. So I've been totally upfront with Eaton about what the situation is. I didn't buy an extended service plan or anything like that.
But
and
there's
So on the one hand, I am out of warranty. On the other hand, under no circumstances should a product designed for power protection light on fire. So after that fire, I actually did, or while it was arcing, before I had gotten the fire extinguisher, I managed to read some gibberish off of the display on the front. So that was the first time it ever actually knew anything was wrong, when it was literally on fire. And it didn't know anything was wrong, I don't think. I think it was just spitting random. Like it was like random special characters going across the screen on the front. So basically my thing with them has been like, look,
Linus, help me.
Look, I know I'm out of warranty, but also this thing failed in such a spectacular, dangerous way.
catastrophic burn the building failure is like a little bit of a special case, I think.
So anyway, to their credit, this happened yesterday afternoon, and they have a technician here right now in our very cramped and uncomfortable server room.
Oh, he's like from
Yeah.
Eaton.
Yeah. So we have an Eaton technician here in the building. So, I mean, really, I don't define a company's quality based on necessarily the performance of one individual product. We don't have, a data center full of Eaton power equipment.
that's
We have
fair.
one unit. We have a sample size of literally one.
Yeah.
So
is
really,
bad.
it's going to come down to how they deal with this. And on the one hand, yeah, I'm me, and you might think I would get special attention. And from someone like a consumer electronics brand, that is quite often the case.
But
I really don't think these guys knew me from Adam. So we're going to see how it goes. It does seem as though they are taking it seriously, just from a this thing should not have been on fire perspective.
Yeah,
and we
which
need to know what happened.
I think that's fair.
I think that's fair.
There's a difference between like a warranty on your car and your car just randomly exploding.
And the technician is not here to fix it. He has no
Investigation.
capability to fix it right now. He's here to determine exactly what could have possibly happened for this to occur.
Oh, that's not him. Do you think it's like, I don't think you could fix it. This is like a replace situation, right?
Depends. I mean, this is a fairly modular and
Okay.
serviceable product.
So like the housing might be okay.
Yeah, but I think that they would probably end up replacing significant internal components. And if they ultimately came to me and were like, okay, look, you're out of warranty, but we can offer you a deal on a refurbishment of this unit or something, that would be fine. Honestly, it would be kind of preferable to me, because I don't know if you remember this, but in
Getting it
order
in
to
there.
get that unit in there,
Yeah.
we actually used to have an
probably have
opening
to
in the wall. We would have
rip
to
the
rip
wall
open
off.
the wall
Yeah.
in order to get it out or another one in. I hate our server room so much. People are like,
But hold on.
Yeah.
Great vlog content.
oh man,
Tons
I
of
don't even
views.
know if I could handle it.
Great views.
I'd just rather not have a camera pointed at that whole situation.
Guys looking for you.
Oh, okay, yeah, BRB.
Yeah. Super chat.
Okay, cool. I have a very small update for the people.
Okay.
It's dead.
All right. So it would
It's
be full replacement?
Super dead. So here, I actually have a great picture. He did manage to get at the back of it because he's some kind of ninja. Hold on a
Are
second.
you going to refocus? You should refocus.
I will.
Okay.
I will refocus. Okay, so here, hold on. Is this my focus wheel? Where's my focus wheel at?
Yeah.
Ah, yes, there it is. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Oh. Oh, yeah. So you think that this is a dark picture? And it might be a bit of a dark picture, but that's not the main issue. The main issue is just that this thing is fried.
Oh,
F.
boy.
So that's where the fire was. So
Yeah, I think that's pretty self-explanatory, actually.
yeah.
Giant dark spot on green PCB. Yeah.
Having a hard time getting the focus just right here. Hopefully that's good enough to close out the show. So they're gonna get back to me on Monday with what they can or cannot do for me. And yeah, hopefully. He says usually that kind of an issue is caused by a loose connection, and he thought it looked like there was no nut on this connector, but I think it was just because he was looking at the shot and it wasn't bright enough.
Well, that one
'Cause,
looks
yeah.
like there isn't one.
Oh no, but that one has no
that doesn't
wire
have-
going
yeah,
to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
so this one, there's different ways to hook it up depending on whether you have single or three-phase power and what the input voltage is and stuff like that, if I recall correctly. So not necessarily every one of these, I believe they're called bus lines. Not every one of them would have a connector on it, but I showed him, no, there is definitely a nut on there, and it looks like a washer as well. So hard to say what's
would
causing
that
the
be
arcing.
a them installation issue or a you installation?
Well, we had it installed, but we had it installed professionally. We didn't do it ourselves.
Okay. Okay. Is there a warranty on that service?
If there is, we would be past it.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
it's been like 3.5 years.
One last super chat. I'm 15, just bought a server. What should I do with it?
Plex. File server. Safe place to store your files.
Minecraft.
Own cloud. Okay.
Honestly, Minecraft could be a good one. And all of those.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you again next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
Bye!